today our hearts are heavy as we all remember the victims of the October 7th massacre. It was 2 years ago, but in our memory and our hearts, it seems like yesterday. Hamas terrorists killed more than 1,200 people. They took captive 250, and our estimate is only 20 of them are still living as hostages in Gaza, and may the Lord return them quickly. Charlene?
Amen. And negotiators in Cairo are seeking the return of the hostages and an end to the war. Israelis are reflecting on how that day changed their nation and how to move forward. Chris Mitchell reports.
Negotiating teams for Hamas and Israel are meeting in Cairo to secure the release of the hostages and end the war. All of this coming as a result of the October 7th Hamas invasion.
That morning, terrorists broke through Israel's barriers, killing families, kidnapping civilians, and shocking the world. It became Israel's worst day in modern history, followed by a war with widespread impact.
In Israel, we know almost everyone has a family relative, either was in the event or injured or kidnapped or wounded or murdered.
Through it all, leaders praised the role of American and evangelical support for Israel in its darkest hour.
We went through the most traumatic moments in our modern history. Nobody ever thought that something like that could happen in Israel, in our sovereign territory. It unleashed also the hatred and the anti-Semitism that was boiling up in the world. And so we've seen the worst of humanity in every single way, but at the same time, we've seen the best of humanity.
In 2 years, Israel has defeated or degraded multiple enemies.
I think that we're moving steadily towards a huge victory on all fronts. We defeated Hezbollah, Syria, Iran, and we're now on the verge of a big victory also in Gaza.
General Amir Avivi points out Israel's 12-day war defied logic.
Look, fighting 2,000 kilometers from here without losing even one plane, it cannot be explained but a miracle.
Despite the victories, Israel, the Jewish people, and the world have witnessed an unprecedented rise in anti-Semitism that's shaken support of Israel, even reaching into the church.
I see it all around the world. This year alone, I'm in Nigeria, Indonesia, Korea, Germany, the United Kingdom, all over the world. Pastors, denominations, ministries are wrestling with this question. And so I think that the choice has never been clearer. I think of Elijah on Mount Carmel. If Baal is God, serve him. But if the Lord is God, serve him. The global church has to decide, do you serve the God of Israel? Do you serve the God of the Bible or not? But individual believers are feeling in their heart as never before, I must take a stand on behalf of the Jewish people and the land of Israel.
At this point, the question remains, what might be ahead for Israel?
Our sovereignty in Judea and Samaria, our reality in the Negev and the Galilee, we need to settle these areas. We have to focus inside on one hand, but also look at the Jewish world and understand that we'll have to defend Jews everywhere in the world and really facilitate their ability to come and live in Israel.
To mark the 2-year anniversary, the International Christian Embassy brought more than 600 Christians from over 50 nations to join local residents to honor the dead, pray for the living, and build for the future. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
We honor those who died 2 years ago. We honor their memory, and may their memory be a blessing to us, that we remember those who gave their lives, and in that resolve for our lifetime, for our children, for our grandchildren, that we stand with Israel, that Israel is in the right here. The Jewish people have a right to exist. They have a right to their sovereign territory. They have a right to the land of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, a right to the land of King David, and we stand forever with them in this. We also recognize that Hamas could not have done what they did without funding. And whether that funding came from the UN or the European Union or right here in the United States, from Canada, all of the so-called aid was diverted into weapons and into tunnels. But the main architect of this terror is two countries, Qatar and Iran. And we should never forget that the Muslim Brotherhood has absolutely infiltrated the thought processes of the leaders of Qatar and have influenced them in trying to wipe Israel off the map and fund it extensively. In Iran, the ideology of Israel being the little Satan. Who's the big Satan? You and I, right here in the US of A. We're the great Satan. They're dedicated to wiping us out. And they think that the United States is the biggest obstacle to the worldwide spread of Islam. Let us recognize that's what they think. And what are we doing in response to that? What are we saying? No, we stand for freedom of conscience. We stand for liberty, freedom of religion. Under Sharia law, there's no such thing. You don't have it. Let's recognize what we're in and recognize our time. And we vowed never again after the Holocaust or World War II. It was on our doorstep. It was there, October 7th. It was there. The full face of evil was shown to the entire world. Let us never forget.